I've asked Brittany DeVries, our firm's client services specialist, to join me and ask the top 5 questions she gets asked about spousal support with our clients. So let's hear the first question.
Van, what can I expect to receive or pay in spousal support?
Right. So the question of how much, how long is essential to get right, and it's the most complicated to answer. So unfortunately, I can't give an answer to that just carte blanche over the phone or without meeting with the person to understand. How long was their marriage? That's one of the first key questions. How long has that person been out of the workforce? What was the understanding of the marriage with them leaving the workforce? What are their relevant skills now to re-enter the workforce? How hard will that be? What was the course of dealing between the couple? So was one party staying at home raising the children for a number of years out of the workforce by agreement? So all of those factual questions and inquiries will play into the ultimate question of how much and how long. But once we get those questions answered, our firm maintains complex computer software to then know, within a reasonable degree of certainty, what we can expect from most courts in your jurisdiction, from Richmond to Williamsburg.
Van, how does an affair affect spousal support?
Affair at first can be devastating and hurtful to both parties, in fact. The party that commits the affair is shocked and saddened that they've been caught. The person that catches the person in the act is then outraged and angry and hurt by the revelation, the discovery. And so first we understand and we get the hurt and the disruption to your life that the revelation or the discovery of an affair can have. And so moving past that point, an affair can have a direct impact on support. First, if you're the person seeking support, so I want to get support from the other side, and I've committed the affair, it could have a direct correlation in lowering that spouse support, potentially, depending on the facts of your case. If I'm the person giving the money, paying the spouse support, and I've committed the affair, it will have little impact because the court's not going to lower the spouse support if I've committed a bad act. It may lower the spouse support to the receiving spouse if they've committed the bad act of an affair.
Van, I've raised the children and haven't worked in 10 years. How does that affect spousal support? Can I get any at all?
Being out of the workforce that long will have a direct correlation to the amount of spousal support you get and the term. But understand that this is a direct fact-based inquiry. It's very specific to you, the client, the person at issue. And so we'll need to understand all the facts surrounding your marriage and your life to fully know what you can expect. But just on the limited amount of information I have from that question, first, being out of the workforce that long will likely lead to some level of support. And second, the term of your marriage there, that 10-year term, it's long enough so you can expect many years of spouse support in most instances, at least 5, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5, or a little more, a little less, depending on other facts and other questions I would then ask you. But it sounds to me like you have the makings of a good start and foundation for a spouse support request.
Van, what if there is a spouse out there thinking, am I going to have to pay spousal support to her for the rest of my life? Does it matter how long we've been married?
Yes, it will matter. And one of the points that I want to make first is, if you're one of the spouses out there that think, oh my gosh, I'm now in this for spouse support for the rest of my life, big red flag. You need to see an attorney immediately because there is much at stake and much to lose. So you need to act quickly to get the facts right, get the preparation correct so you can properly defend against that sort of attempt. So first, the term of your marriage, if it's long-term, 18 years or more, definitely a red flag there for a possible indefinite award of support. So if you've been married longer than 18 years or more, we need to talk because there's lots we need to cover. The second is, if you've had a course of dealing in your marriage where I've not only had a long-term marriage, but my spouse has been staying home with the children, has been out of the workforce for a number of years, maybe 10, maybe more than that, another big red flag. We need to talk, we need to prepare, and there's several questions I would ask following that, if that's you, that we would then need to have answered to properly prepare that case.
Van, he left me. Doesn't that automatically mean that I get spousal support?
Unfortunately, with spouse support, there's no automatic, there's no guarantees, but the fault-based ground of abandonment in your case will only help you. So if he's run off, he's left, or she's run off, she's left, she's abandoned you, and we can prove that, it certainly will help your case. Lots of other questions we'll need to go over to make sure you're entitled or eligible for spousal support, and ultimately it's the court's decision, not my promise, but a court's decision as to whether or not you get spousal support. But it can't hurt. It's certainly a plus on that column, and you're well on your way to establishing a good spousal support claim with those facts.
So Van, you mentioned affair earlier. One further question for everybody watching. Do I need to hire a private investigator if I know that he's cheating on me?
Terrific question. If the other side doesn't know of the affair, but you've discovered it, and that's an element of your case that you want to take to court and prove, then you should definitely speak with us and ask which of the private investigators we have on file that we call frequently is the right one for your case. So depending on the nature of the affair, the nature of the facts surrounding the affair, the distance away, we can partner you with the right private investigator to ensure that part of your case is properly prepared for. So understand that you're in a sensitive situation, you need to act quickly, and not all private investigators are created equal. So we've seen how they perform in court, so we can give recommendations based on the facts, based on where the affair is allegedly occurring, to choose the right private investigator for your case. Understand that proving adultery in court is very difficult. It's not just an email, it's not just a text message, it's not even just a photo. It's a combination of all those and third-party testimony. So you will need a private investigator, yes, and you'll need to speak with us or a firm of our caliber to choose the right private investigator for proving that element of your case.